It's 7:32. We'll call the meeting to order. I pledge roll call, please.
Twenty-one supervisors are present. Supervisors Berg and O'Day are excused.
Okay, also present is Isaac Quadri from PDAC. Announcement of the chairman. Just a reminder that on the 17th is the WCA, so whoever signed up, hopefully we'll see you guys there. Citizen comments. Sorry about that. Any citizen wish to speak? Any citizen wish to speak? Please state your name and address.
Avenue. I'm here today to talk to you in my capacity as a board member, officer of the Kenosha Sister Cities Association, which is led by our president, Laura Belsky. This past 2 weeks ago, we had the honor of escorting 24 members of our sister city from Wolfenbüttel here to Kenosha, and in celebration of our 53 years association as a sister city with Wolfenbüttel, Germany. For those who don't know what the Sister Cities program is, I've left you an application on your desk. It was started by Dwight Eisenhower, and it was an idea in where that we get to know each other on a very personal level, and then bigger, better relationships can build from there. While our counterparts were here in Kenosha, we took them to quite a few Kenosha experiences, to include all of our colleges, to include the county fair, to include this building. I just first of all want to give a thanks to the county exec, Samantha Kirkman, for her support. I also want to thank the county board for their support. And again, extend an invitation to join this organization. We have 4 sister cities. We have Wolfenbüttel, Germany, which is our longest association. We have Cosenza, Italy, which our county board president has met us in Cosenza, in Rende, if I'm not mistaken, at the University of Calabria. We have Douai, France, and we have Quezon City, Philippines. Thank you. One of the things I want to speak on tonight, though, is how warm a reception Kenosha gave our visitors. Wherever we went, it was a very warm reception, whether it was Gateway, whether it was Parkside, whether it was Carthage, whether it was the county fair, et cetera, et cetera. Kenosha just really showed a warm heart to the people from Wolfenbüttel, and it showed. They were not going to come to Kenosha. One of the questions asked us while they were here is, why is Kenosha so pretty? Why is Kenosha so green? Why is Kenosha so clean? And I didn't quite understand the context between that in that question. When people who haven't been here before look us up on YouTube, etc., what do you see? You see lots and lots of videos of during the civil disturbance. And as a matter of fact, one of the persons from Wolfenbüttel said, this is what we knew of Kenosha. A lot of problems, and you have a lighthouse. So they came expecting this, and it's a direct quote. They came expecting this. We showed them this. And the thing I want to give to you today is that one of the things we wanted to show was when government works, and when government works well, it's phenomenal. We showed them interactions between the county and the city. We showed them interactions between the city and the different educational institutions. For example, when the city and Carthage worked together, yes, we gave up some parkland for Carthage to be established in our city, but what do we get for that? We get a world-class educational facility, and we get scholarships for City of Kenosha students. When we work together, things are pretty darn good. And one of the things we kept trying to show was the cooperation. And if you heard the comments, they were just amazed on how well things worked. So in my last minute here, I want to say this to you. Be careful of the story you tell. Be careful of the story that you tell in reference to Kenosha, because we know the big bad story. We know what's happened in Kenosha in the past. And I'm not going to gloss over that. It happened. But when we tell these stories, tell a story that talks about what's good in Kenosha. Tell a story about what is working in our city. Because our visitors, if they're looking at it just online, they're only seeing a very small part of it. But when you come here and you look in people's eyes and you see their heart and you see their warmth and you see how much hospitality we have as a city, it blew them away. So I ask of you, as we do our jobs, as we represent our constituents, as we go through these things, just be careful of the story we tell and tell a better story, because there's 1,000 beautiful stories to tell in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Please state your name and address.
Hello, I'm Todd Hauser. I live at 6622 24th Avenue in District 8. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I keep coming in front of you and you're all going to think that I am a one-trick pony, but that's wrong. I am a two-trick pony. First, I want to talk to you tonight about the Kenosha Shockwaves. Me and my friend co-own the Kenosha Shockwaves. We are a cross-country / club track running club. We specialize mostly in elementary school kids and middle school kids. I was first introduced to the Shockwaves through the Kenosha Running Company, and Brian Thomas, who owns the Kenosha Running Company, and XC Trilogy, the trail race owner and race director. And he pointed me in the direction of the Shockwaves. The original owners were active military, so they left the area and dropped the Shockwaves in our lap, and I couldn't be happier. So as we all know, KUSD doesn't have elementary or middle school cross-country programs, and there are a lot of other schools that don't have cross-country opportunities. So we were formed to sort of fill that niche. So we've had runners from the K-Techs, other schools in town that don't have any athletics at all, like K-Tech, but also a lot of homeschool kids who don't run with their boundary schools. They run with us. We have had some kids from Racine, mostly from Kenosha County, and we definitely do not have a cut list. We make sure that everybody that comes and wants to run can come and run with us. What else do I need to tell you about Kenosha Shockwaves other than how wonderful we are? One Thursday night after practice, actually, I went and met a couple of friends at the beer garden, and that is where I met Bob. Bob is a 60-year-old man. He traveled all the way here from Janesville because he had heard about our mountain biking trails, and he ran into our mountain bike trail builders. Do you see how I seamlessly segued into my other trick? The second trick? Yeah, that's pretty good. So Bob was over the moon happy because he had ran into all of our other trail builders who were out riding the trails as part of a group ride that Bob joined. And at 60 years old, he followed them right into the table gaps and jumps that we have just built on north of Highway A. And it is the happiest I've ever seen Bob in his whole life. And I'm glad somebody got the joke that was the first time I ever met Bob, so of course it was okay. That was one Thursday night during a trail ride, but also during picnic in the park, I happened across someone who looked like they were having bike trouble, but in fact his name was Kyle. He was in his mid-20s. He was a trail builder from the Heritage Trails up in Washington County, which are some extremely rowdy trails. They're probably, if we were thinking, these would be the aspirant trails that we would want to be. They have amazing features that we'll get into another day. So I introduced Kyle to Dustin Yanis, who I've talked about in the past, our head trail builder at Pets, and the two of he pulled Kyle through our new jump line, and he said he was laughing and giggling like a small child. So I just wanted to let you know all of the joy that we're bringing to actual people who are out there. But I don't want to underestimate the risk and danger that is associated with mountain biking. There is risk involved. We have, as as trail builders, we've talked about what is going to happen the first time we hear about someone breaking a collarbone or breaking a wrist or doing something like that. And it's not a happy idea for us, but we have thought of it, and we just think of our own humanity, that we have built this, we have rode other people's trails, we've gotten injured on other people's trails, but mostly that's on us. We also have to trust that they know themselves better than we do to let them ride at the distance and skill that they're trying. And as I'm running out of time again, I just want you to know that we'll back this up. The plural of anecdote is not data, right? 2 stories about 2 happy guys isn't a whole lot. So I will tell you, we have started a fundraiser. You can find it at canva.org. Our fundraiser for pets, after another social media post, now that the trails have been open for about 3 weeks, we raised $800 overnight, and our grand total on our pets expansion is now up to $1,900. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, citizen comments are closed. Supervisors' reports. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For those of you who were at the CIP budget meeting last week, there was brief conversation about the courtroom restoration project. And there was a request from Supervisor Rose for an update, and I said I would be happy to provide that tonight. So that's what I'm here to give you tonight. The Blue Ribbon Committee, which is a committee that is overseeing the fundraising efforts to get the project done, met this afternoon, and I've just got some bullets for you. And then if you have any further questions, you can see me after the meeting or call, text, reach out, whichever way. The first question, or just to address some of Supervisor Rose's questions, were what have we paid to the consultants from 2 years ago when we started the project to today? And the first consultant group that we used received in total by the end of their contract $84,500. But it's important to note that that included the feasibility study that we did in the courtroom as well, where a lot of that money was spent. That money was needed to apply for the grant, the Jeffries Foundation grant, that we got, which I think you all know is $675,000, so a third of the total project cost. So that's what the bulk of that money was used for. That contract expired mid-year last year, and we did not renew with that group. Instead, we went with the Abbey Group, a different group who specializes more in what kind of projects we have here, and that decision was made in correlation with the county executive's office, as well as we have a smaller subset of the Blue Ribbon Committee of folks who can kind of get more honed in and make some of these decisions on a smaller group level. And they presented to the Blue Ribbon Committee, the Abbey Group. The rest of the committee concurred with them, and that's who we went with. To date, since signing them on, they've received just under $34,000 in consultant fees, with their contract paid through the end of June of next year, 2024, an additional $56,000. Now, how much have we raised? That's the big question. Outside of the Jeffries Foundation grant, which again is $675,000, it's the challenge grant, the total amount pledged to date is $435,602. The match, what we need to raise is $1,350,000, which means we are now roughly a third of the way done, and we're excited about that progress. Since our last meeting, over $50,000 has been raised for the courtroom. And so while we are nearing the end of our challenge grant period, June of next year is our deadline, we are making some serious movement, like I said, just since our last meeting. Some notable pledges to date. Like I said, we received almost $500,000 in pledges and gifts from business, communities, foundations, and individuals, but just a few that I want to note are the Blue Ribbon Committee co-chairs, former Executive John Collins and retired Judge Wagner have both made pledges. Retired judges Bastianelli and Kluka have also made pledges. And current judges Doug Villo, Gabrielle, Kirkman, Roselle, and Judge Schrader have all made pledges as well. In addition to that, we have other electeds and other members of county government who have made pledges to the project. Those include Supervisor Terry Rose, thank you, Terry. Supervisor Aaron Decker was our most recent one up until tonight. Myself, I have made a pledge. The county executive has made a pledge, and her chief of staff has made a pledge as well. Supervisor Geertz and I met tonight, and he has promised to make a pledge for the project as well. So thank you to everyone who I've listed. And everyone who I have not listed. A lot of the donors for this project are very, very passionate about this project, but they don't want recognition, and we will honor that. One of the larger private business donations we've received was from Habish, and Rotier. We received that last year, and they were very eager to donate $100,000 towards the project, and they have made the ask in their community amongst other firms as well. Where are the funds being housed? That was another question that we had. Are these funds in a county account? And they're not. The funds are being processed and housed by the Kenosha Community Foundation, where they are holding on to those funds until we're ready to complete the project. So we have quite a ways left. We are making progress. We have until June of next year, and the money needs to be collected by June of 26, meaning if we have the pledges by June of next year, the Jeffries Foundation will allow the starting of the project, and the money needs to be collected by June 26. Primarily, these pledges are either a one-time pledge or a pledge given over 3 years, and the individual or the business or the foundation or whoever is giving the money can then decide how they want to divvy that up or what makes most sense for them. So that's what I've got, unless anybody's got any other questions. If you want to join the list of county board supervisors, elected officials throughout the county who are supporting the project, please see myself or any of the other members, and we would very happily take your money. So that's all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Nadleski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't have a lot to say tonight, but I wanted to take a moment to personally thank Alderman Kennedy and Supervisor Belsky for their involvement in the Sister City project. My sister was involved in that as a young person, and it's something that she has memories that she cherishes very much until this day. I really, really appreciate all that Alderman Kennedy does to connect the city to the county. We may not always agree, but I think it's an important reminder that he brought to us tonight that how we look from the outside, maybe online or through the media, is not who we are. And we as representatives of the county have such an important role in conveying to the world the true spirit of Kenosha County and the city of Kenosha and all of its municipalities. Additionally, I would like to say thank you very much for making sure they got to the county fair. We loved having you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Nordigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few updates on Public Works from our meeting that wasn't in the original reports from each of the department heads. County W from the state line to just about Highway C is a project we're looking at for next year, and found to be a possible habitat for an endangered tricolored bat. We're waiting for I guess that's a U.S. Fish and Wildlife streamed coordination process. Staff is optimistic it'll be ready in September. 6% of the plans then will be provided to staff for review. County Highway A and Y roundabout, the permanent lighting was installed. Ribbon cutting tentatively scheduled for, I think, tomorrow at 10, unless that's changed. Have you heard anything at all? Okay. The Pets Park Pavilion number 5 repairs, 3 bids were received, all came in over budget, so we're going to reject them all and have everything rebid again in September of this month. The Kenosha County Veterans Memorial Park Restroom Memorial Shelter, construction is progressing with the restroom facility operational. The exterior rain screen, mechanicals, landscaping anticipated to be completed by early fall, and the Army Shelter landscaping pathway skylight anticipated to be completed by early September. Should be any day now. And then the South Branch Pike River, it's about 60% design, has been delayed until mid-September. Army Corps Group reviews prior to release, so they'll be probably moved to 2024 or 2025 project. We will be bringing the bike plan back to the committee. I can't remember if it's this month or next month, as we add the Thielen plan to it, or at least discuss adding it to it, and go forward with probably needed changes, since this was done over 10 years ago now, and it's good until about 2025, when it was supposed to be readdressed, I guess, by 2027. Currently, after Highway D was done, we have about 9 miles of road work completed, budgeted at $200,000 a mile. Costs are coming in between $225,000 and $230,000 a mile, so our 2024 budget is going to be affected by that. Highway H between S&E is being evaluated for some possible immediate improvement. We have to balance that as to whether that'll take away from any future grants if we do something too significant now. So, report from Picnic on the Park, Picnic in the Park. We had over 4,200 attendees. Community members attended this free family-friendly event. There were 10 unique nonprofit organizations supported Picnic in the Park by either operating an educational vendor booth or volunteering with parking operations. There were 10 free family-friendly activities and 2 live musical acts providing quality entertainment to everyone at Picnic at the Park. There were 9,800 were reached through social media between Kenosha County Parks, our nonprofit partners and vendors. Picnic in the Park online advertisements posts reached nearly 10,000 people in the Southeast Wisconsin region. Wide variety of food vendors. There's like 12 different food trucks and a plethora of options for attendees at Picnic at the Park. And there's 7 community sponsors financially contributed to making Picnic at the Park a success. So we thank all of them. Human Services Building is moving along in the destruction, if you will. And the bids for the interior, I can't remember when those come in now. So they're soon to come in, and then we'll have more information for everyone. We did hire 1 mechanic out of the 3 positions that were opened. Last I heard, there was just 2 open still, and they are advertising for those. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Poole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank those supervisors that attended my wife's funeral and to the county board for the beautiful flowers. My family and I appreciated your kindness. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, let me apologize for not being able to attend the CIP meeting, as it was my son's 35th birthday and we headed north for a weekend away to celebrate. So my apologies for not being there. However, as the meeting was last week Thursday and this is now Tuesday, I have not seen any information in my inbox, etc. So I have no idea what was discussed, as it was a noticed meeting, and I am, I believe, still a board member. I would hope that whatever materials were shared would have been forwarded on. So whomever is in charge of that, I understand I'm not the only person who couldn't be there. I would appreciate if someone would follow through and inform all of us as to what the content was. Second update is this morning, we had our weekly call with Paris Solar to receive an update on their activities and what the scope of the project is at this current time, where they're going. A couple things to share with everyone. Previously, they anticipated the panels arriving this fall. The panels will not. Panels may arrive in April if they can get through U.S. Customs, which is peculiar in that our federal government is pushing for renewable energy, yet they're up, for some reason, withholding the approval for the panels to get to the site. And we are not the only site this is occurring for. It is across the board. So the panels may arrive in April. If they do arrive in April, the anticipated conclusion of installation and energizing the system is not now until the end of 2024. That may beg the question then, what are they doing with regard to the site? Does it looking like a vacant site? The developer is continuing ongoing stabilization and restoration of areas. Last time I spoke on this, I indicated that they have turned some of the arable ground back over for agricultural use, and that is continuing to be their bent. So if they do deliver in the spring, they will be bringing them down 172nd Avenue. Of note with that is springtime is when we have heaving for frost in the roads. So these will be heavy trucks. Anticipate that there will be some potential concerns. Additionally, we addressed warning signs regarding the overhead signs indicating that there's overhead cables. They will be removing the warning signs before snow flies to make our plow job more reasonable, such that the plows don't have to zigzag in and out and they can be more efficient and effective. So we've addressed those concerns. Next on the list of questions that have come up, I've had a number of calls, and I was going to pull a specific note regarding the corner of 136th and C. This is the project over behind the Uline Center by the new warehouses that are going in. And I've had a number of residents from that area who are very concerned about the new configurations where the signs have been placed. In other words, barricades are blocking the view for the residents to exit from that area. I have multiple pictures from a gentleman in a high lift F-350, so a big truck sitting high and cannot see the oncoming traffic, which is making an extremely hazardous area. I did inform Clement, however, we were at the front end of a holiday weekend. That could be an issue. But the bottom line, and I said this similar to a project happening over by my home, is during these projects we have to give utmost care and attention to what the residents are going through as well. We understand that we take great care to protect the contractors and those that are on site, but the residents' needs are also to be balanced, and we have to make sure that they can safely enter and egress their residential areas and their communities and can be a part of what's happening in that area in a safe manner. So those are my 3 updates. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Supervisor Belsky.
I just wanted to thank you, Chairman Nudo and County Exec Kirkman, for scheduling the CIP meeting. I felt it was very productive. It was a very nice get-together, and I want to thank Joe Potente for sending out the video of the meeting to all of us. It was appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Decker.
I also attended the CIP meeting. It was very informative. It was nice to get an advance notice or advance information on the plans for our CIP going forward. I'd like to thank Supervisor Rodriguez, who forwarded an email to the entire county board from Matt Storino on Thursday, August 31st at 8:07 p.m. regarding the questions I had on focus on energy. And then I'd also like to thank Chris Walton, who sent an email to the entire county board regarding public works items. And then also to Joe Potente, who sent an email on Friday at 2:55 p.m. to the entire county board with the YouTube video link so all of us could see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? Any other supervisors? Seeing none, supervisor comments are closed.
New business, Resolution 50, from Supervisor Rodriguez, Vice Chair Decker, and Supervisors Belsky, Poole, and Nedwesky, and the Executive Committee, a resolution recognizing September 15th through October 15th, 2023 as Hispanic Heritage Month. This passed unanimously at committee, with Supervisor Caro excused.
Vice Chair Decker.
I'd like to move Resolution 50.
Moved by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Decker.
I'd like to defer it to Supervisor Rodriguez.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In front of you tonight this evening is a resolution that has been before us in years past, either coming from this county board or as a proclamation from the county executive, which has also happened in years past. This will recognize September 15th through October 15th, 2023 as Hispanic Heritage Month here in Kenosha County, as Hispanics all over our nation celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. I've given this many a times in years past, so I won't dig too deep into it. All I will add is it is very appreciated that the committee passed this. I'm excited for it to hopefully pass tonight, and I look forward to going with the county executive and the sheriff to present this at the Hispanic Heritage Festival that we will have here in Kenosha down at the lakefront just in a few weeks. So if you're interested in attending that and being part of that, reach out. We'd love to have you. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any supervisor comments? Any supervisor comments? Seeing none?
Roll call.
Roll call requested.
The vote to
The
pass
vote
this
to pass.
resolution?
Oh, on this, I thought it was to.
And we need
Jeff?
Jeff, are you having problems over there? There you go. All right. Resolution 50 passes unanimously. Resolution 51 from Vice Chair Decker and Supervisors Rodriguez, Nedwesky, and Poole, and the Executive Committee, a resolution recognizing October 2023 as National Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. This passed unanimously at committee. Supervisor Caro excused.
Supervisor Decker.
You said me? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Sorry.
Move Resolution 51.
Moved by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Stark. Supervisor Decker.
I'd like to defer this to Supervisor Rodriguez.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before you tonight is a resolution to recognize October 2023 as National Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month in Kenosha County. As some of you may know and others may not, I grew up in a household with a single mom. She raised 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. I think she wanted to pull her hair out most of the time, especially with me. But she did it because she was a victim of domestic violence. She did it because she worked with organizations like Women's and Children's to pick her up and move her from one community to another. Not only just to pick her up, but to pick up her and her 3 children, her 3 small children at that. When she left the community we were in at the time, I was an infant, or I was a year old, and my sister was an infant, a new infant. We're only 15 months apart. But nonetheless, it's because of people in the public, people at her church, her friends, people she didn't know, nonprofit organizations like Women and Children's Horizons, and her community, that she was able to safely raise 3 children here in Kenosha County. And domestic violence, whether it's against a man or a woman or children, is often not talked about. It's one of those taboo topics where people go through it and they feel like they're going through it on their own. And what this is here tonight to do is to bring recognition to it. Make sure people are aware of it, and make sure that when we know of it or we see it, we call it out wherever we find it. There's nothing wrong with being a victim. It's not the victim's fault. We need to, as a community, let the victims know that there are resources available to them and that they don't deserve, and they won't, stay in situations like that. So before you tonight is this resolution to recognize October 2023 for the first time ever in Kenosha County, National Domestic Violence and Awareness and Prevention Month. And I would ask for your support tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisor comments? Any supervisor? Seeing none, all
Roll call.
in favor? Did somebody say roll call? Okay, roll call.
Resolution 51 passes unanimously. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Hello. I'm voting yes.
Supervisor Gantz is voting yes.
If that's okay with the rest of the board.
Can you change that or no? No. We can make a note on it. We can't change what happened. Okay.
We don't want it.
Okay. All right. Resolution 52 from the Public Works Facilities Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of James Wallace as the Director of the Division of Golf. This passed unanimously at committee. Supervisor O'Day excused.
Supervisor Nordigan.
Move resolution 52.
Moved by Supervisor Nordigan, second by Supervisor Stock. Supervisor Nordigan.
Mr. Wallace, James Wallace has been a county employee in our golf for a little over a year and a half. He started in our golf grounds supervisor. He is replacing Dan Dreyer, who retired earlier this year. And if you haven't read any of the background on him, he's very well entrenched in golf. He was at Medina. He was a golf course superintendent at Medina Country Club, Medina, Illinois, which is quite a nice, lovely course. And then from there, he moved to a country club in Muncie, Indiana, as superintendent of greens and grounds. He has a bachelor's degree in public environmental affairs management, as well from Indiana University, and a professional golf turf management certificate in Rutgers. As one who's been here for a little while at least, he understands what we're trying to accomplish. He would be here tonight, except he is a daddy today. His wife had a baby this morning, so congratulate him on that. And I ask for all your support. Thank you.
Any supervisor comments? Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes.
Communications 35, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for Premier Wine and Spirits located at 32400 Geneva Road, Salem, Wisconsin 53168 in the town of Wheatland.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Committee.
36, communication from Public Works Facilities Committee, a resolution authorizing application to the Wisconsin DNR Wisconsin Assessment Monies Program for parcels located in the area of 17th Court and 15th Street by Kenosha County.
Refer to Public Works and Finance Committees.
37, communication from Public Works and Facilities Committee, a resolution authorizing application to the Wisconsin DNR Wisconsin Assessment Monies Program for property at 2907 63rd Street.
Refer to Public Works and Finance Committees.
38, communication from the Finance Committee, a resolution authorizing transfer of a parcel taken by tax deed to the City of Kenosha for a determined price to cover taxes.
Refer to Finance Committee.
39, communication from Vice Chair Decker, a resolution on the individual health decisions pertaining to COVID-19, government lockdowns, vaccine, and mask mandates.
Refer to Human Services Committee.
The approval of the August 15th, 2023 minutes by Supervisor Gashke.
Supervisor Geschke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the August 15, 2023 minutes.
Moved by Supervisor Geschke, second by Supervisor Poole. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by
Nordigan.
Supervisor Nordigan. Any comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.